Aloha again, beautiful souls. It's Karina coming to you from Hawaii, and today I wanted to talk to you about love. Okay, and the type of love I'm talking about is EROS, or romantic love. There's other types of love. There's friendship, there's love of God, but I wanted to specifically speak about romantic love today, and I guess discuss what it is and what it isn't. And I've come to these conclusions through my trials and situations and all my experiences in life. And I guess it started with shadow work and going deep into myself to try to figure out some things about myself and, experiences and situations I'd gotten myself into, and really relationships as well. And that I ended up leaving unhappy, or there wasn't complete happiness there. So I thought to myself, okay, I need to figure out what love means to me, because when I figure out what love means to me, then I'm not only going to be better at doling out love, but I also will be able to receive it and accept what I deserve. So I've mentioned several times before that I'm an empath, so I tend to love unconditionally. And it has gotten me into a couple experiences in my past that's really given me some lessons to learn and to grow from. So I want to talk to you first. Let's define love. Love, as in relationship, again, is romantic. Love is a noun. As a noun, it's an intense feeling of an affection or deep affection for someone. And as a verb, it is to feel deep affection for someone. Now, it's a verb of being, not of action. It's something where you are that way. But you can show love in the actions that you commit for somebody else, or the actions that you perform. It's not tangible, so why it is a noun, it is a thing. It's not something tangible. We can't touch it. It's displayed in our actions and thoughts. You can't buy it, yet you can be it. So in my journey to be love, I had to figure out and really dig deep into what love is and what it isn't. And it brought me a lot to my past and some things that I feel are very important, especially if you're a woman struggling with a relationship and something's just not right and you're not sure what it is, but this is not what you imagined love to be. So I have to ask you this question: do you believe in fairy tales? If your answer is no, I want to ask you why not. Well, I can tell you why not. For me, for a long time, was because life kept getting in the way of my fairy tales and my dream ending. Now, fairy tales don't always end in love. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we have this imaginary tale of what life can be like. And remember, I'm talking only about romantic love. So my fairy tale that I describe is going to be about romantic love. It's what we see from Disney movies all the time, even in some of the more recent ones. There's always a love interest when the two divine counterparts get together. Life is just so much better for both of them. So if you're searching for that kind of fairy tale or that kind of love, then let's look and see what it's like, because I can tell you what it's not like. I can tell you that based on experience. But let's see what it is like. So I don't even know what to call the opposite of love. It's not hate, it's just not love. So we're going to talk about love and not love. So love is not, let me do a list first, I guess. Let me start with a list first. Love is not jealousy. It's security. Love is not lies. It's honesty. Love is not criticism. It's praise. Love is not threats. It's empathy. Love is not expectations, but the hope in possible outcomes. Love is not abuse of any kind, whether that's verbal, physical, or emotional. It's kindness. Love is not ownership. It's freedom. Love is not codependence. It's independence. Love is not disrespect. It's respect. Love is not the pressure to act or perform a certain way for someone else. It's the acceptance of who you are. Love is not sex. Love is passion and love and desire. Love is not obligation. It's a desire there too, a want to do something. Love is not estrangement. Love is family. Love is not deflection, it's inner growth. And love is not stinginess, it's generosity. And finally, love is not destruction, it's letting go. So if we go back up and we start with jealousy versus security. And I know that there's some people out there that are like, well, I just can't stand for someone to talk to my beau or my girl or whatever it is, my bae. Well, you should not be jealous because other people maybe find your significant other attractive. You should have security in your relationship, in who you are and what you two have together. And if you don't, then there's an issue. Sorry, there's a piece of hair on my lip. Then that's where the issues come in. That's where the jealousy stems from, when there's not a feeling of security. So if you're not feeling secure in your relationship, you need to do some inner reflection and try to understand why. Is it the way the other person is treating you? Is it some sense that you get, your intuition, that something's not right? Then you need to start listening to yourself. But you also need to look at yourself. If it's your feelings of insecurity, then you need to get better in those areas, because you should not be jealous in love. Love should not be any type of these lower vibration type of feelings. And that is what jealousy is. It should be a security in knowing that you have a stable relationship, the two of you and your partner, and that nothing will take that away, and you shouldn't be fearful of that. Next, we're going to talk about lies. Now, I know some people have always said, well, little white lies don't hurt, and if what they don't know won't hurt them. And that's not true, because if you don't know, you carry lies on your being. You carry lies on your shoulder, and they're a constant reminder of something that you've kept hidden from someone else. So the best way to be in a relationship that is truly based on love is one filled with complete honesty. Honesty is the hardest thing, but I can tell you this: if you're honest and your partner doesn't accept your honesty, then that is not the person for you, because you shouldn't lie about who you are, what you've done, what's happened in order to protect or save yourself. That's really not saving yourself or saving the relationship. So lies, I have to say, is not love. Honesty is love. We go to criticism. Now, I'm guilty of this. I've been guilty of criticism because I've felt cornered, and I felt the need to show someone else their mistakes in order to see that. I don't know why. That was an issue. That wasn't love, because love isn't criticism. Love is praise. So when I guess the love starts going out of relationship, and you say, well, how can love go out? Well, sometimes we're forcing so much, because we do want that fairy tale ending, that we are forcing ourselves into a relationship that we're really not ready for, that we weren't meant for, and that wasn't with our divine counterpart. So criticism from both sides can occur in relationships that are really, maybe they're just not meant to be. Now, I'm not saying that all criticism, there's constructive criticism, there's wanting the best for someone else. The kind of criticism, and trying to help your partner in some way and give them guidance, that's not the type of criticism I'm talking about. The type of criticism I'm talking about is a general feeling of distaste for something about that person. So that is not love. That is not love when someone criticizes you to where you feel bad or you feel bad about yourself. What instead is love is praise. praise for them. Be proud of them and praise their efforts, whatever they want to do. Remember, your partner's life is their own, and this is for you too. You need to praise your partner. You need to be honest with them, and you need to be secure in the relationship. This goes both ways. So praise instead of criticism. Now, the next is empathy and threats. Now, I put that together because I didn't know what else to go as the opposite or the yin to the yang of threats. But threats and any kind of threatening behavior, you'll be sorry for this, or I'm going to remember this, or there'll be consequences, or if you leave me, you'll never get farther in life. Those type of threats that puts you to where you feel that if you didn't have this person, your life would be worse. That is not love. That is some type of control, and that is trying to control to where you stay in love with someone you really shouldn't be in love with. So love instead should be more empathy. I sympathize with you. I understand your problem. This happened. Let's see why it happened. Let's understand how we're both feeling. Instead of when you don't get your own way, you threaten. That's not love. Love is understanding. Love is discussion. Love is trying to feel what that other person is feeling and live your life that way, to where you always say to yourself, what could this person be feeling to be acting this way? Why is this person acting this way? Let me understand their point of view. Let me empathize. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. So no threats, but empathy. Expectations. Ooh, this is a big one because a lot of us have expectations. I mean, that's just it. And we need to get rid of expectations. We need to stop doing things because we expect something in return, and instead do them because that's what we truly desire or want and are willing to give no matter what occurs from it. So instead of expectations, so what can you do? You say, well, what is this? We're just starting in a relationship and, I expect him to call. No, you should not expect him to call after a great date, or you should not expect him. You should hope for the possibility, because then you'll never be disappointed. And that's what we're trying to prevent, disappointment. So hope for possible outcomes. Hope for the best, but be satisfied with how things play out, because they're happening for a reason. Next is, if we go into something deep, abuse. That's in verbal abuse, physical abuse, and emotional abuse. Love should be never dangled in front of you. It should never be used to get you to do something that someone else wants. It should never be abusive in physical manner. You shouldn't be hitting or touching another person out of anger or out of bitterness or resentfulness or to get their attention or anything like that. Love should be kind. It should be filled with ease and peace and calm. So if you're a woman out there experiencing physical abuse right now, that's not love. That is not love. I've been in your situation and I understand it. And at that time, I wanted to believe that it was love, and only after could I see how wrong I was. But any kind of abuse, verbal, physical, or emotional, is not love. Love is kindness. Okay, love is definitely kindness and gentleness and peace and calm. That goes into ownership. Love is not ownership. You do not own your partner. Your partner does not own you. Love is not ownership. It's the freedom to be who we are and who we want to be and do the things we each want to do. And love should actually, two partners in love should actually have a better life together, where they're supporting each other and each doing what they want to do without offending the partner. So not ownership. Someone doesn't own you. We're not material items to be bought and sold, even though it happens still in this world today. That is not love. Okay, that is not romantic love. Ownership. Freedom is freedom to be who you are. Freedom to do the things you want to do. Now, of course, hopefully you want to do it with your partner. And if you don't, that brings up some other ideas of, are you really in a loving relationship? Because if you want to always be by yourself and do things by yourself, then something is going on where you're not feeling the need or the sense to be with your romantic partner. Next thing is codependence. Someone who depends on you for their happiness, their positive energy, their joy, their meals, their laundry, their whatever it is, their ride every day. Now that's we can help each other out, but I'm saying a complete codependence where it seems like your job is to make them happy or to enhance their life. That's codependence, when someone is depending on you for that. It's independence. Each person in the relationship should have their own sense of happiness, their own sense of self, their own positive attitudes and energy, where they're bringing in, and as that energy unites, it makes things even better. It's not dependent on one. It needs to be both. Next is disrespect. Disrespect, wow. You know, that there's a lot of things we can talk about when we talk about disrespect. Correcting another person in front of others, you know, not taking it into private, making them feel inferior in a choice or a decision or something they say. A general feeling of just, I don't know, disgust in something that they have done. That's disrespectful. Those things are all disrespectful. Respect is understanding. Respect is care. Respect is being concerned about your partner and how they're feeling. It's not the opposite. Okay, so pressure to act or perform a certain way. That is really something that we get caught up in, especially women, when dealing with love. We can feel pressured that we have to do something to make the other person happy or to prove that we are in love. That right there is not love. If you have to perform or to act or do a certain way, do something a certain way, or do something you don't want to do to show that you love another, that's not love. Okay, that's not love. Love is the acceptance of each person's feelings, each person's desires, each person's wants or needs, and respect for both people. The acceptance for, okay, they don't want to do this, we will not have to do this. I can do this alone and leave them to their peace, or they don't have to do this to make me feel more like a woman or more like a man. I should feel like that on my own, and I should accept their love and accept that person for who they are. Love is not aggression, okay? Any kind of force or pressure to behave a certain way, any kind of anger when you don't, those are acts of aggression. Any kind of high expectation that you need to do this, and this goes back, some of these overlap, but any kind of aggression is not love. Compassion is love. Compassion for your partner, compassion for how they're feeling, compassion for what you're doing yourself, the actions that you're doing to them, instead of being mad, being understanding and caring and having compassion for each other. Because if both partners have this type of feeling, then there will be no problems. You can decide to communicate. You can decide to work through them both in a compassionate manner, by listening, by understanding. Another thing, love, we're going to go into a big one, sex. Okay, because the problems that have occurred in my past have been with sex. I have often confused sex for love. And sex is not love. That was, I guess, my way as a woman to cope with having relations with a man without being married. I just tie it to love. That's a very huge connection for me between sex and love. So then it made me realize now that that's really not love. And that's what's gotten me into some problems in the past, is because I felt that if I were having sex with someone, if I was having sex with someone, that I had to, that it was love, it's love, to make it me feel better about it, and not being in a, I guess, a marriage or a union like that under God's eyes. So it's not sex. It is passion, however. It's a desire for each other. It's an attraction. That's love. It's a feeling that you're on electricity or energy, that when you see them, that is just melts your soul and melts your heart. It's definitely not sex, because there's people and couples all over the world today that one couple is unable to have sexual relationships, and the love in those relationships are just something to strive for. So it is not sex. It's passion, and passion doesn't have to be about sex. Passion can be intimacy, can be romance, can be desire. That to me is love. Again, obligation. This kind of goes. If you notice, they interact with each other. An obligation, that you feel like you have an obligation to do something for someone else, to perform a certain way, to be a certain way, to act a certain way. That's not love. Love is not obligation. Love is just, I guess it goes into that freedom or desire to help or to do what it is because you love that person, not because you're obligated to. Love is not estrangement. A romantic partner should not try to take you away from your friends, your family, from other people that you care for. So instead of estrangement, it's family and friends, and here's family and friends. And here in Hawaii, they call it your ohana. It's more than just family. It's close relations. It's people that are just part of your life, even though they may not have been through birth or marriage. So love is family. I believe love is family. To me, estrangement means that person wants to take you off for themselves, and that is some... Sorry, my dog knocked my light down. But that is not love. Love is family. Love is friends. Love is togetherness. Love is also not deflection. Now, I say deflection meaning that you don't look at your inner self and instead make the problems the partners, that, oh, it's something wrong with them or something that they've done and it's not me. That's deflection. Love is not deflection. Love is inner growth. Love is self-care, self-growth, looking at the situation and saying, what can I do? What have I done in this? What is my part to play? Looking at yourself instead of look what they did, look what they're doing. It's like, what have I done? What have I tried? What have I done? Have I worked at this? Have I really looked at myself and seen what my issues are? And if you aren't in a relationship like that, then that you can work at these things, but know that in my eyes, that's not love. Love is not deflection of problems to the other partner. It's inner growth. Now, there's also a growth of together where you work through things. I'm not saying that it's always your fault or always something that you have to look inside to, but when I taught for years, I always told my students this. If someone has a problem with you, it's their problem. It's not yours. Don't make it yours. So that goes to me, that always ties into relationship. If someone has a problem with me, then I'm not the one they're supposed to be with. It's something in them, okay? Because if I don't have a problem with them or with it, then why am I going to make it my problem? So that's deflecting the problem onto someone else. Love is also not stinginess, it's generosity. If you're in a relationship and you feel that everything you have to hold on to it so tightly and you can't, or you want everything for yourself, or anything that is there, it's like, oh, that's mine, that's mine. That's not love. That is not love. If someone is doing that to you, that is not love. Love is generous, being generous, not only with your own love in return, but with things, with wanting the best for your partner to have. Both people should have that, or else the relationship is not balanced. If you want the best for your partner and you're constantly lifting them up and trying to give it, and they don't care about you or what you have or whether you have the needs to take, that's not a balanced relationship, and that's, love should be balanced. And finally, destruction. Love is not destruction. If someone is out there and they're saying, well, I'm so heartbroken and sad because I don't have your love, so I'm going to destroy all this, destroy this property, take this away, throw this away. That's not love. Love is letting go. Love is letting go of the need to hurt someone else, to do something, to make their life harder, to prove a lesson, to show them something, to show them you're mad, to show them you care. Because some people have a sense that that shows they care. No, that is not that someone cares for you. That is not what love is. Love is letting go. Love is allowing someone to not have to pay for who they are, what they want, and whether they love you or not. So those are a lot of things to talk about. And I guess, it's so hard when you want to talk about the beauty in love, because really, I meant to ask at the beginning, if you don't believe in fairy tales, why not? Because everything that we believe is possible for us. And I believe that there is divine counterparts to everyone out there. And I believe that when the time is right in our lives, that we will meet those people and that we will grow together and become our best selves. I have a lot of experience in love. I've made a lot of decisions that took me on paths that were really deep in learning and growth, soul growth. But they had to happen. I don't regret any of them. As a matter of fact, I love all the past men that have been in my life. I don't still love them romantically, but I had love for them at one point, and I did love them. So how could I ever regret that? And they brought me to who I am today. And in each relationship, good and bad, even the ones that were weighed heavily more on the bad than the good, I've learned something. I've grown from it. I've had good times. I've felt great at times. Now, the thing is that I haven't always held true to what my beliefs of love are. And I've looked away because I felt, because my love is so strong and I feel this way, that they'll see this or they'll understand and they'll grow to love me as much as I love them. And to be honest with you, that has never happened. That has never happened. And I knew at the start of the relationships, I knew where the areas were that I should not be ignoring, that I should be listening to my intuition and being concerned about. So that's why I made this Love What It Is and What It Isn't video, specifically to share my thoughts about love, share what I've learned over the years and in my relationships. And also, if you're stuck there saying that, okay, well, I'm all ready for that. I'm that way and I feel that way and I'm ready for love. And where is the love? The love is not coming. The number one rule in this is that you have to love yourself first. You have to do all these things that I've just mentioned. You have to have security. You have to be honest. You have to praise yourself, pray others. You have to have empathy, hope in possible outcomes. Be kind. Be free, be yourself, have that independence, respect yourself and respect others, accepting of others, accepting of yourself, have compassion, have passion for life, have a desire, a motivation, be surrounded by family, want your family around, have that inner growth, that desire to improve your sense of self. Be generous with yourself, with your words, with your thoughts, with your deeds, and let go. because you can't control everything. Our lives are occurring without our control. We don't have to control things to make them happen and have a certain outcome. We just have to have the knowledge and the belief that things are meant to be the way they are. And that when the time is right, when divine timing occurs, that we will then be connected with our soulmate, our twin flame, the person, our divine counterpart. I hope that this video helped you. My belief in love stems from my Father, my Creator, what I consider my Creator, the spiritual guides around us, me, and the messages I've learned and around us, the universe. I believe in Mother Earth or Mother Nature. And I've combined all these things to help me gain a better understanding of what I have done in the past, to where it's gotten me to here today, that I am looking to love and trying to understand exactly what it is and what it means in my life. So this is what love means to me. I hope you resonate with some of it, and you can see that some of these things that I'm talking about are, you know, make a lot of sense. And I encourage you that if your relationship is not this way, to first work on it. First try counseling, try working with. There's so many things available online, whether it's through articles, medical professionals, YouTube, different groups everywhere, workshops, sessions. There's so much online that you can do to try to improve and enhance your relationship. What I'm saying is, if you try everything and you find yourself in a position that you're like, this is still continuing, and you know what, I don't think this doesn't feel right, and this doesn't feel right for me, then that's when you have to take a step back and you have to look at, okay, what exactly is it that is not right? What exactly is not jiving with me? And that's what I did. That's what I did in my life. And it was a hard decision. It was a hard decision to realize that I was unhappy and that I was not feeling love in a relationship, and to look inside myself and try to understand why. And once I understood why, I was like, that's why, because this is how I am and this is how the other person is. And we were just not divine counterparts. It just was not. We were not on the same path. We were not on the same mindset. And things changed for my life when I realized that. And now I make an effort every day. That's my channel, Aloha Again Hawaii. What it means to me is aloha means so much more than love. And that's a Hawaiian word here, but it means so much more than love. And to me, it is finding that love again in your life, for yourself and for others. And I've been doing it by being loving and kind and positive in my thoughts of myself and others, my words to others and my words to myself, my actions, same thing, the way I behave and act toward my friends and my family, and the way I act towards myself, how I treat myself, and then my deeds. The deeds are what things I do for others, straight up for others. So be kind and loving and generous in your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your deeds. Make your life filled with love, and love and abundance will return to you. It will. And if it doesn't, you're okay, because you're in love. You're in love with life. You're in love with yourself. You're in love with the world. You're just living, and you're be love. Be love. That's it. I want to be love. I want to live love. And that's my goal. So I hope this video helped you today. I hope it doesn't find you in a situation where you're like, oh, she's right. What I'm feeling is does not feel good. But if it does, know that I came out of that. I was in that same boat, and I came out of it, and I'm stronger now than ever. And I'm just looking forward to life. So live with love.